Okay, so we got our thermostat in and we're here. Now we need to add in our smoke detectors, our lights, and get our switches connected. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of real quick. Smoke detectors need to be in the following areas. You need one in every hallway, you need one in every bedroom, you need one per floor, and you need them over the stairs. A lot of that can be overlapped. So the hallway and the per floor, that's the same, that covers it all once. But what that does mean is that if you have an unfinished basement, you have to have a smoke detector in that basement. Even though there's no hallways, there's no rooms, you still have to have one there. Okay. Now we're then go into our systems and come over here to our device, and we then do a fire alarm. Now when that loads up, if it doesn't bring the smoke detector right up, go ahead and go into your edit type and load and go into the library and get to that. No, that one's going to be, we get to that area. It's in being your MEP area. So let's go down to electrical. Sorry, we're in the electrical. We then go MEP there, and then we then go to information communication, and there's we have our building controls, our communication, our fire alarms. Go to fire alarm, and you then go with the smoke detector right here. Okay, so this is the one we then bring in and load in. So if it's not popping up for you right away, this is the one you're looking for. We hit open, and we're going to look at what that is. Now, right now, it says just a plain smoke detector. We need to, and we can go with that, but we're going to change this one up just a little bit. We're going to do a switcheroo to an air sampling smoke detector because that's what we'll have. And so we have a smoke detector, but we also want it to check for CO. Now, I want you to pay attention. I am not saying CO2. We don't check for CO2 in a house. That's what you breathe out, and that alarm would never turn off. That's what comes out of your lungs is CO2. CO is what's a result of combustion, and that's what causes people to die. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this and use this as a twofer. We're going to get a combination, a smoke detector and CO detector. So we're going to duplicate this before we even use it. We're going to change that to, and we're going to put a with CO. Air sampling with CO. And hit OK. So we're going to make this a whole new detector here. And we're going to come down here, and we're going to change the letters up here. We're going to take off the A. So it's going to be smoke detector /CO. Okay, so now it's going to do both. And that's what we want it to do. We want it to do both those checks. Sorry about the email pop up there. All right, so we're going to have a combination smoke detector there. Okay, we hit apply and then hit OK. Now, we're going to place one of those in a hallway. So I'm going to put one, and you can rotate that around so it's readable. So you can rotate those and put them in the hallway here, just outside the laundry. That's this hallway. That's to take care of whatever may come out of the kitchen if the kitchen's aflame and whatnot. So this is place that there. I am also going to place one in the garage. Now, this is not always popular with everybody because people say, oh, but if you do that, then the combustion from your car exhaust isn't enough. That's not the case. Okay? It won't be the case if you got everything working right. So we're going to, actually, we may put the other one back in here. We just may do the plain one in that one. Thinking about that. We do need one in our library because that can be used as a bedroom. And then when they come back here, now technically, I'm going to put one here at the end of this hallway, kind of near the stair. Now that doesn't meet the stair requirement, but it does take care of that long hallway, and it's just outside the bedroom. And I'm going to put one in the stairwell here, so up along that wall, and that'll be at the high point of the stair. And then they place one in this near the door of the master suite in order to make sure I've got that covered. Okay, now you'll do the same thing on your upper level for any bedrooms you have there. I've got an underlay here showing for some reason. Let me turn that off for just a moment because it's kind of wigging me out. Okay, a little too much information happening there. All right. Now, let's go back to the garage. I'm going to go back into the device again. I'm going to go into my smoke detector. I'm going to get the one that's just air sampling. Actually, let's get the plain one. Just choose the plain one. I'm going to put that one in the garage. And that one just to stay smoke detector. Okay, so it's just going to be a normal, good old run-of-the-mill smoke detector. Okay, so now we've taken care of that requirement. Now we can start putting lights in. And now I'm going to start here in the family room with the lights. You can start really anywhere you want, but I'm going to go ahead and show you that, and then you can go and put lights in the rest of your house. I want you to think about how you're going to light everything up. So if you take a standard light and you bring a cone off of it, the area that a light typically covers is about 6 feet. So if you're looking at how many lights to put in, you need one light about every 6 feet, and that will cover everything. So if you're coming from the corner, if you don't want any shadows on your walls at all, come over 3 feet, place a light, go 6 feet, place a light, and you're then get it pretty well covered in that area. But we can't place it here. So let's go into our systems again. Come over here to your light fixtures. Now, in your template, you have 3 recessed can lights. Those are kind of the ones that I like because I like them. And so that's what you've got. You do have other lights that you can use in the library. I'm going to use this 8-inch can for the family room. It gives off a little bit more light. But if you want to change it, and we'll look at some others here in a minute, you can go into your library, and that is completely out of the electrical system. Lights get their very own library. So come to lighting, and then you want to go into your never can quite tell. I'm going to look at the MEPs real quick. Yeah, I'm going to go to the MEPs, and you'll get several lights in this area that you can use. There's pendant lights, and pendant light means it's hanging from the ceiling. So it's either on a chain or a pipe rod. You've got some down lights. You've got some floor lamps. You have some sconces. Sconces are wall-mounted lights. There's some more lamps, some troffers, some of those things. You can choose any of those you want, but they each have their own little quirks to them, and you might have to do some figuring them out. So let me put in the can lights first, and then I'll show you what you've got to do, and I'll put in a pendant light, and so we can look at what's going on with that. Okay, so I'm going to cancel out of there, and I'm going to take this 8-inch can. I usually use 8-inch cans in large rooms, 6-inch cans in hallways, and the 4-inch in the bedrooms where the light level can be a little lower. So just kind of give you a little idea of how I go about doing that. All right, so hit OK here, and I come in, and I'm on my electrical plan, and I've got a do not pass, you shall not succeed here. You can't put a light on the floor. You need a ceiling. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do, you need a ceiling. So I need you to go down to your ceiling plans and open up the main level floor line ceiling plan. And you'll know you're there because it's got this little outlined gridded area for a fancy ceiling. And now, when you go to your lighting fixture, now you can see the light. Yeah, no pun intended. Actually, I did. So you can see the light itself now. So doing that, you can come in here and you can place your lights. And like I say, you're about 3 feet from the corner, plus or minus. You don't have to be exact because the electrician's got to figure out where to mount these. And if they can't attach it to a floor or a ceiling joist, they've got to put in some blocking. So you can just kind of come along there, and like I say, 6 feet is it's a little. You got to do a little bit of work on there to get everything where you want it. Go there, and there, and we'll come down here and here. So I'm just kind of laying out what I feel is a good starting point and getting those in place so I have what I want. Now, if you're going to do these throughout the house, do the whole house before you can do this next step. It just makes it a little more practical. So I put the lights in, and I go back to the electrical plan, no lights. Okay, so somehow I've got to get what's above my head to show what's below my feet. That's literally what's going to happen there. So I've got to do some fixings. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the lights to show. Actually, I need to line these up a little better because they kind of are driving me a little nutso. So I'm going to go and do an align. So I'm going to go modify, align tool. And then base it off this first one here. I'm going to take that line and make that one line to it. And then take that one and line that one to it. Then I go horizontally. So we start here and go there, and here and go there. And again, I'm not too overly concerned about spacing, but I am going to fix one thing because it's just visually not making me happy. I'm just going to move that over a little bit. And I just use my arrow keys. Back to the align. I want this one and this one. And then when they go across, actually then move them, do another move. And move all of these and move them up. And we'll go from this point and go, try and go straight. There we go. Just get things a little bit more, kind of shift a little bit. And then we'll move these guys, move them down a little bit, just to space it out a little bit better. And go finish my alignments. Recorrect some things that may have shifted, and go here, there. All right, much better. All right, so there's those lights, and like I said, I'm going to put a pendant light in. I'm going to do that now as well. So systems, light, edit, load. I've got to go all the way back because I didn't commit, so I've got to go back to my US library, back to lighting, MEP, internal, and I think I'm going to go with, I'll just do this hemisphere lamp. It's what it is. All that means is looks like a big dish. The discs are a little flatter. This looks like a salad bowl. A lot of times in the industry we'll call those salad bowl lamps because they're used in commercial all the time. So I'll pull that in, but it's a good one to put in there. Now, I want you to look what happened. The default elevation is 4 feet. That is 4 feet from the ceiling. Okay, so I'm going to put OK. And, oh, come on. And I'm not seeing a light. I see no light. Let's go back here real quick and zero that out. See if that will help me at all. And no light. Okay, now, here's what's happening. It is on a work plane. The work plane is a floor line, so it's below me. So I need to put that on the ceiling plan. So if I look along here, I don't have a ceiling plan to pick from. So if I'm going to use some of these lights that aren't showing, you're going to have to get creative with it. So I'm going to have to go pick a face. If I do pick a face, it should be grabbing that ceiling. So look and see what your outline is, and then you can place that. Okay, so don't panic. By all means, don't panic. Let me do the panicking because I think I'm upside down now, which is probably fine. Okay, so I'm going to align this one before I go any more just to make sure I'm actually happy with where it's going to be. And put that there. and there. Okay, so we're centered, at least off the lights. Okay, now I kind of really do want to know if that, because it looks upside down to me, very much so. So I'm going to cut a section cut here so that we can look at, actually I'm going to do it in the 3D world, I think. If I go into 3D and there's my building, if I get, let's see, what do I want to do here? If I go into my view, so scope box, and I angle this down. I use that scope box as kind of this file is getting very large, so it's making things a little tricky. Here is this box right here, which is my scope box. I'm going to grab this arrow and then slide it back. I hope I went far enough. I may not have. Let's try that. Oh, I did not do good at that one at all. Let's try this one. Okay, too far. There we go. Okay, so I can look inside without going inside. You do have to just keep track of where you're at. And this house is turned, which is probably what threw me off. I'm cutting the wrong direction, which is always nice. So let's take this box here. It is a little tricky to see where you're at sometimes. Probably should maybe have gone the other direction. Tilt, 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 tilt. Went too far. It's okay. It's good for you to practice this anyway. If you haven't messed around with these options, it's kind of a helpful thing. Boy, I am probably really bad off on here right now. Front door. That should be right in my my family room. But instead I've got the master suite. How do I get that backwards? Yep. Okay, let me just undo all that. Put it back together because I went in the wrong direction, which is all on me, guys, not you. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that this house is turned. My scope that I want to do is not the back door. So if I'm looking my driveways here, this is the room I want to see is here. So, live and learn, I guess, right? Or try and do, or do not. There's no difference there really in my world. Okay. All right, there we have the kitchen. So are there some lights showing? And the pendant light is not. So let's see if we can find that good old pendant light now. Probably been easier to just do the section cut. And I'm probably going to do that. Let's just go back and do that because this is taking too long. And you don't want to watch me learn. Well, do or do not type thing. Just do a section cut. I usually do sections when they're faster. There are definitely times when you want to look at it in 3D, but I just need to know where the dang light is. So let's go there. All right. Okay, so there's the pendant. It's going where it's want. I'm just not seeing it. So when I look here, there it's there. It looked like it was upside down because I wasn't seeing the ring, but that's okay. So just always verify. Make sure it's where you want to go. I'm seriously, some of these lights are made in a wonky way. Okay, now from here, I'm going to go back to the plan. I'm going to fix these lights so they show in the electrical. Because right now, nothing is showing. And I really do need it to show. So I've got a lot of things to fix. So I'm going to zoom up on a light, just one of them, and you have to do this for each light type. So I'm going to come up on it, I'm going to get close and double click on it. And when I do that, it's going to open up into its creation world. So we're now in the creation tab, and we're looking at it in a 3D view. Doesn't do me any good there. So I'm going to go in my browser, I'm going to go find the elevation views and just choose one. Doesn't matter which one. Just pick a view. And this is what it looks like in its creation. Now this is my can light. So here's the ceiling line, here's the can, here's the reference line. Okay, so this reference line is the distance on the inside of the ceiling where that light will be mounted. Okay, cool. This vertical line here is a reference plane. It's not a line, it's a plane. So this is where we keep it so it's all centered on itself. I need a reference to the light. So the yellow, and it's hard to see on this, I know. This yellow is the light ball, the intense light, and it only goes down 2 feet. Well, we know light doesn't just go 2 feet and stop, okay, but it's modeled that way. And I need to take that math and carry it down to the floor. So they click on the Create tab, and then add a reference line. And it says, okay, what plane? Well, I know this is okay. I'll pick a plane, and I'm going to pick the one that I can get to. And it's to say, do you want to look at the front or back? Again, it doesn't matter. Just pick one and go with it. Now I'm in here. Oh, there's where my light ends. My reference lines, they end. Okay, planes go off forever, but light does not. It's a Revit thing. You'll get there. So I'm going to take now and add that reference line from the source, that square with this circle in it. Then grab that point and then bring it down till it's almost to the floor. Don't go to the floor, and definitely don't go through the floor, or this light will light up your basement. So this thing go about 6-7 inches above the floor and call that good. Okay, I'm just going to add the reference line. I'm referencing the source of the light down to the floor. Okay, now I'm going to go up and I'm going to load it back into the project. So just hit load. And it's back in there. I'm going to overwrite what was already there. I just changed the parameters of what I've used. Okay, now nothing changes here. The ceiling's still the ceiling. But when I go to the electrical plan, boom, there's my lights. Because now they're referencing up through the cut plane into the view. Now I need to do the same thing with the pendant light. That one's going to be a little more of a challenge, and for lots of reasons. So I take the pendant light, and I'm going to zoom up on that really close and double click. I zoom up close so I don't move it. The closer I get, the more control I have. And there's the ceiling. This is the ceiling, and there's the light, and it's drawn upside down. Again, not a big deal. Go to Create, and you're going to add, let's go to a view. So go to your views, go to your elevations, choose any of them you like, and notice that we're upside down. Not a big deal. We already checked the lights in the right orientation. The yellow, again, is the light math, the model of the light, and I need a reference line. Well, let's see what we've got. This is a reference plane, not a line. But we do not have a floor. We have our ceiling base where it's attached, but there's not a floor. Okay? So we're going to go and create a reference line. We're going to start it from the light. We're going to go, let's see, this hangs down about 2 feet. So if we go 8 feet, let's be a little shy, let's go about 7.6, and load that back in the project. And as I say, where do you want to put it? Well, because we did some work with the recessed can light, where they put it back into the project. And because I haven't closed my light. So I'm going to override again. Now, this is going to blow you a little bit, blow your mind. If we go into the plan, it's not showing. It is not made the same way. The same solutions don't always work. So here's the solution for your pendant light. You're going to come down to your range underlays. You're going to turn on your main floor line. Doesn't make sense, just trust me. Turn on your main floor line and set it to look up and change your top range to the why is that not working? Like, put it to the top plate of the upper level. Apply that. Okay, there's the light. It's now showing there. But you're getting a lot of other stuff in there as well. So it does get a little problematic on that. Try and go back to the main low floor line and apply that. And that'll clean up some of the stuff going on there. You still have some floors and so forth. Go back in. You can't, well, maybe. Yeah, you can hide some of those floors that come in. Just watch and clean up as you need to. But now that light shows, it will be grayscale, which is unfortunate. Because we could go in and look at the range on that. But again, that's going to cause us other problems because if we change our cut plane, we won't be able to see our switches. If we change our top, we won't be able to see the lights. So we're kind of in a weird spot with the pendant lights. It's just what they are. There's not a way I can tell you to make it easier, but it's kind of where you're at. Okay, so we'll cancel that. Now we've got our lights. You then do this in every room. Okay, if you want to make it easier yourselves, just use the can lights. The ceiling mounted ones work as well. They work fine. It's the pendant lights that you're going to have the most struggle with. So just to give you an idea. Now I need to put in the wiring for how this is going to go together. So I've got a three-way switch here and three-way switches here. And it's 1, 2, 3. And notice how they're overlapping. That's not good. It's a little confusing. So let's spread those up a little bit. Just so they don't overlap. I mean, keep it easy. And I think when I originally put this together, I don't think I was planning on the pendant light. But that's okay. Okay, I need to connect these. Now there's some rules as we do the light switches. And again, you're going to do this throughout the house. Okay. We then go back into our systems and we have wire. Now this wire comes in a couple of choices. There's an arc and there's a spline. They're different. Okay. I'll show you. I'm going to start with the spline. So I'll do it with the spline first. And I really should save this, but so you come down, you pick the switch you want to control which light, and you start on the switch. Now, if I'm looking, this is not the right light. Let me get back in there and find out what wire I'm using. It's an arc wire. Okay. Well, we'll try it. So we're going to go from here. The second click you make is just to put a straight line, okay? If I go line, click, click, then you get the bend, okay? So you want the bend to happen. I do not like this to be a solid line at all, okay? That is not what you want. And let's see if we can figure out where they've got the line type on this. Non-magnetic, don't do aluminum wiring. Use copper. Line type. I'm not seeing the line type. So if we don't see line type here, we got to go find it. So let's go manage, additional settings, line patterns. Look at patterns first here. Okay. Cancel that. Let's go back into additional settings, line styles, plus open up the lines we have. And I'm looking for wire, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. Not seeing the wire lines, which is, so let's go visibility and graphics. So I'm going through the list. So first you want to check the line type, then the line where they've been assigned to. Now I'm going to go in and look at the graphics and what the interface is. So the line weight, the thickness of the line, I'm fine with. The fact that it's a curvature, that's fine with. So if we go back in here, and I don't remember seeing a line called wire, but what there's wires right there. It is right down the bottom. So we've got wire tick marks, wire home runs, and we have lines. Okay, so what we've got to do is we got to click here, and we're going to override this, and the pattern's going to change. And I'm going to go with a dash line. And I'm going to go with let's try the 3/32 and see if I like that. The color needs to be black. Okay, so we put that in, and we're going to leave the line weight the way it is. So hit OK, hit apply, and then hit OK. And that didn't change. So too thick. All right, so then go back in there again. So I'm going to go VV, bring that back up. Scroll down to the bottom again. And my overline didn't. I did that not. I might hit cancel on that. I know. I think about it. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go down to 8th anyway. Go to dash. Let's go hidden line. Traditionally, it's a hidden line. We'll go an 1/8 inch gap on there. Put that black line back in there. Hit OK. There it goes. Now I can see it's there. I think I may hit cancel instead of apply. That's what I do. It's my best thing. Hit apply. Hit OK. There we go. Now I've got a dash line going on. Ooh, crazy world. Okay, back into systems. And back to wire. Now, if I'm going with the spline and I pick up where I left off, again, I'm going to work my way around. So 2 clicks, there's the bend, there's the next one. Then I pick up click, 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 and I want that to go alternating bends. Not everything's just, you're not making a cloud, a little cartoon cloud. You want that to be a gradual thing from each one as they work around there. Coming all the way around. And I'll show you why I'm doing it this way. And I intentionally went counterclock or clockwise on this one. The order in which you go doesn't matter. What you got to do is I've got to get to this light. And these wire lines, they can never cross. Now I end there because this line comes back over to this switch. And this is where it gets a little tricky. You might have to add some extra clicks to get it to bend right. Okay, so these 2 switches work these, what have I got? 8 lights. Then I do the same thing again from the next switch. So back into the wire. And I'm going to pick up there. And it's going to go, and I might need to do, notice I'm kind of getting into the other one to there. Now you can modify these by pulling these nodes and adjusting that arc, that curvature. Oops. And then they go back, and you have to be careful how you click off. Then that one's going to come back out. This is going to take the long way over to this switch here. And that's a 3-way system there. But again, don't let those lines cross. It's really important they don't cross. Okay. And that's how you do your fan. Needs a switch in the bathroom. We have put fans in. I just remembered. That's what's craziness. Okay, now as you go into your other rooms, get your lights in. Now here's the thing about these lights you have. If you're going to use the same lights in other rooms, just go back to your reflective ceiling plan. And I can literally do something like this and go modify, copy. I can window that group of lights. I can grab a base point and I can just start spacing these out across my space uh, until I get the lights where I want them. And I can kind of adjust it so things make sense. I mean, you probably want more light around your dining area anyway, and you can place those lights. And because you already adjusted them, they'll show on your reflective ceiling plan or on your electrical plan really well. But take some time and put some quality to it. You probably want some special lights over your islands and your bars. You need a light in the pantry, so you make sure you get the right uh, product out there. You don't want to get salt when you want sugar. If you got, then let's go ahead and put that fan in the bathroom here. This room definitely needs one, and so I've got switches for that. So the fan, we then go back into systems. We then go device. We then go down to, I think it is electrical system. And we'll go edit and load. Let's see if we can find that fan. I have to go back here, get out of the lighting now. So I mean, it's under mechanical, MEP, air components. So then move air, and we want, nope, I missed it. Nope, there it is, fans and blowers. Open up fans and blowers. And I just want a simple little exhaust fan. Make sure it's exhaust that you're getting in there. You're trying to pull the bad stuff out. And I want a ceiling mounted, not necessarily need a cabinet, but it's okay. We'll do that. Okay, so the cabinet is that little box that goes up in there. And so then open that up. And it'll load. Oh, it's a component. Great. So now I got to switch to a component. Architecture component. Edit. At least I know where I'm going now. That's the only down thing is trying to keep up with who's done what, when, and where. But it's not bad. So we got rectangular round. I'm going to do a round one. I don't know why. It just seems loaded. All right. So we got that. Now, these fans, this is cubic feet per minute. In a public restroom, it's actually higher than this. It's almost like, I think it's 350 cubic feet per minute have to be changed out to cycle that air. In a house, they let you go with 100. If you want a bigger fan, do a bigger fan. It does help to get the humidity out of the room as well. So let's increase that up just a little bit. Again, you can change your material colors. Hit OK. And it's a kind of a big boxy fan. It's not pretty. And we can put it there. Now, I think that's the right one. Yep. And it just mounts in the ceiling. Typically, you would put it over the water closet because that's where our fence is at. And so maybe you want to move that over. I'm not sure why that's showing. That's mounted on the floor. That is not a good deal, Mr. Fan. Ceiling mounted. All right, we're only 5/8 of an inch off the floor. So let's put that up a wee bit. Let's go 10 foot there. There we go. Now it's in the kind of the right order. All right, we are not seeing things the way they should be. Let's go look here. There's the fan. I'm going to take it out and put it back in again. And main level floor. Main level floor top plate. There it goes. That's where it should be, is main level top plate. And if I place that in there, it should show there. Jump back here. There it is. Now, again, I want that to show. Not a real fan of this symbol per se. So let me give you another way you can do this. You can do this with your smoke detectors as well. I just don't really like that look. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to go into the annotate. I'm going to go and do a detail line. I'm going to change it to a thin line. I'm going to draw a circle just over the water closet here. Don't get crazy with it. I mean, about a 6-inch radius is sufficient. I am going to thicken that up just a little bit there with the lines because it is just a wee bit thin. So maybe they go with a medium line. And there we go. So it stands out just a little bit more. Actually, maybe the thin line would be fine. I'm making choices as I go. This is my life. I'm pretty indecisive a lot of times. Now, I want you to take a text, and you then put inside of that a capital letter F for fan, because we're all fans of life. And then we're going to modify and take that F, and we're going to move it up into the center of our circle, and that's a fan. And you can do that, and then you can just run your circuit wire. So go back to systems, wire, and I'm going to show the arc is a little more awkward because you get the arc, it's just point, bend. And so you may like the spline better, which is fine. Not a big deal. Bring that right over. And there we have our fan. And you do the lights and stuff. All right, so I'm going to let you go ahead and finish that out and get that done. So those are the elements we need. Thermostat. You need to have your exhaust fans. You need your lights. You need your switches. You need your outlets. You need your smoke detectors, your CO detectors, and then your electrical plans are good to go. It's going to take you a while, so let's get going on it. Have a good one. Got work to do.